Hey there, folks. This is Great Scots, and we have another installment here of the 1861 USA campaign. And it looks a little bit like Siege Simulator, and I don't really know that. I'm not even sure if this video is going to go up, but I'm doing it in part to kind of showcase how the AI has improved. If you've been away from the game for, I don't know, 4 months, 6 months, something like that. If you bought it last year and played it once and kind of shelved it, it has improved. And so we'll talk a little bit about what's right and what's wrong, and you can just watch the cannons tee off on each other. Uh, they use their initial deployment phase to build parapets. They do a lot of that. That's great. That's smart. They have the high ground, right? And they're overlooking this creek, stream, whatever. That is going to be very costly to attack through. Unfortunately for them, they are outgunned by me, and so, and well, that's that. They're also kind of spread out, right? Like why this battery is over here, I have no idea. It's doing absolutely no good. It should have been up in that parapet. This gun should have been in this parapet as well. They should have maximized their firepower to the front, because what I've done is I've built breastworks and I've moved just about, yeah, I think just about all of this into. So I guess those guys are moved up a little too far, but I'll get them into breastworks. But I switched the artillery all to counterbat, and so we're just shooting them down. I think I'm going to switch them off. But if they had had all their guns here, right? So it would have been an additional 17, 16. They don't have a lot, but they would have been in a pretty strong position. They could have peppered this artillery before it got effective, or before it got more effective. But allowing me to just shoot at, I don't know. I know that ended up being a detachment, and the larger battalion was somewhere out there. They compounded a problem they have that I'll show you on the map here, which is that they're outgunned, and it's going to get worse over time. And so this is kind of where I transition to, what's maybe not quite right about this. They're severely outgunned now, but I have a second army that's going to show up. Now, I think they were at the tail end of, like, as far away as you can be, but still joined. So I think they will be here. It actually will be, I believe, McClellan when he gets here, but he's not here yet. He's going to have a significant amount of artillery. So prior to this, it was about a 3-to-1 ratio, but they had the high ground. They were in parapets. They could have gotten a lot of the first shots, and I think that they could have done much better in this trade than they've done so far. The problem is that when McClellan shows up, we're absolutely going to have the numbers to wreck these guys. He's bringing more artillery, more this, more that, more everything. Yeah, I got to switch these guys off of counterbat here. So, while defending could make sense, it probably makes more sense for the CSA to attack and try to deal with my force before McClellan shows up. Because again, it's going to be a force about this large. We've shot off some of their battery anyway, so worst comes to worst, we're just going to surround them here in Perryville and pepper them with artillery until we run out each day, and then we'll just wait till the next day. Because the CSA, and I'll say this is the AI in general, doesn't seem to be recruiting a whole lot of cavalry these days. They're not able to control the few victory points that are here. I've been able to send, I have 2 cavalry brigades. All right, so then this is the first one, and we'll send them back here. And the other one's going up to grab this other point. And they have no way to really contest that because they've castled up. And having castled up, they're kind of stuck here. They've let me time to start getting my breastworks built. I have skirmishers out over here. If we end up deciding that we need to use them, we're in a very strong position. I think if they had just entrenched, whoa, what are you doing? I don't know what you're doing. If they had just entrenched their artillery, maybe waited to see if I would spread out and then take advantage of that, it would have been, I think, a much better move for the AI in that case. But we are where we are. There's not too much we or they can do about it now. I think this battery is just, it's a bit out of position. So we're going to swing it around to the left, move it into some of those new entrenchments. But yeah, the little victory slider thing here has been moving for quite a while. Right now it's on meeting engagement. I think it will be that way until we catch the Harrodsburg Road, and then I think we'll have the victory points, and I think that then puts them on the clock where they have to kind of attack. Plus now they're besieged, outgunned, and now the advantages that the creek and stream would have offered them for defense are going to turn into an obstacle when they have to attack, because they're going to lose the range duel. And it's going to get worse over time when McClellan decides to show up. So the AI defends better than it used to, at least in terms of building out parapets. Notice what it's not doing, though, and this is still a problem, I think. If you're going to defend, you should be building breastworks. Right? I'm attacking and I'm building breastworks. I understand that parapets are what they are, but it seems to make sense that the AI, fine if you want to build parapets because you can't do it during game, but then have the rest of your infantry constructing breastworks, have your artillery facing your primary problem. This battery is facing, it's technically facing cavalry that rode past them, but they're so far away they're never going to hit them. And this battery down here is not doing anything. They're in the woods looking at a hill, 50 yards in front of them. They really needed to be up here in these parapets. So it'd be nice, I think, if the AI, if they just stick with building parapets, they can build them out and go to the level 4. I think it's level 4, right? The top tier one, and use your engineering points for that. And then if you're going to defend, do two things: have your infantry build breastworks, and as always, have your infantry kick out skirmishers. I would also say recruit cav so you can defend the victory points, or at least contest them for a much longer period of time. Fremont. I don't think we're going to need them there, but that would make it harder for me to turn the clock against them. So anyways, I think maybe I'll take you off of Siege Simulator. This is, what, I guess the final point before I take you off of Civil War Siege Simulator here is that if I wasn't too sure I could win this, I should have just stayed at range, because I think this, okay, there's a 10-pound parrot. I believe there's a 20-pound parrot as well. There it is, the 20-pound parrot, and they're the ones that have been taking some casualties. But those look like the batteries that, I don't know if they have any parrots at all, but those seem like the batteries that would have been the ones to shoot them where the CSA couldn't shoot back. But most of these guns are pretty terrible at long range, right? Whether it's the 12-pound howitzer, the Napoleon, I think the 6-pound field gun, yeah. Don Carlos Buell, there he is. Not terribly great. So that's that. We'll see if anything interesting happens to happen during this campaign. My goodness, man. All right, I guess they are kind of moving. All right, that'll be it for now. Alright, folks. I know there's a bit of a delayed reaction there, but just working through the relatively light technical difficulties. And yeah, I figured I'd bring you back in. I've started moving up some skirmishers here on this flank to try to get at this. It's one of their 2 remaining batteries. This is the other one, Buford's Battalion. I do not know why nobody's going long range here, but we have this battery up on the hill that is peppering them, and we're going to get a second pretty large battery over there, and I've switched all my batteries. They were on kind of fire at will, do whatever, and I switched them all back to counterbat because I just want to knock these guns out. The balance of power bar up there has more or less stabilized. I chased off whatever that battalion was that was that retreating artillery battalion. And I'm thinking if they're going to leave their entrenchments and they're basically going to face the front here, I may try to sneak the cavalry in the back. Which reminds me, you all need to focus on that infantry that's coming towards you. Since we already have the other... There we go. We have skirmishers picking on their artillery over there. We should be okay. I'm gonna move these guys over to here. These guys, I was trying to figure out what to do with them, and I think I just got the idea as to what I'm gonna do with them. These skirmishers are not able to engage that artillery. The artillery's just too far away. So we'll send the skirmishers over here to pick on this infantry that has decided to sally forth, possibly catch me napping and all the rest. And yeah, we'll see what happens here. Honestly, them routing my skirmishers is kind of okay. Alright, we don't need them up there, but we could probably use them over here. Again, those fortifications are up, so kind of okay with those. I believe, so they don't have anything. We'll just tell them to fire at will, because why not? But yeah, if their artillery is moving rather than shooting, that's totally fine. That's what I'd like to see enemy artillery doing, is spending their time moving. These guys are having, whoa, so I guess as you can see, they're feuding. They're on their own initiative there, and making some slow progress there through the water. And you know what? You guys just stop. Movement is not your thing. That's okay. And to be honest, why don't we bring you over there? Yeah, we'll do something like that. We'll see if we're able to get these guys back or not. Okay, they're kind of moving. Again, kind of moving. These guys have gone idle, so we'll bring them over. I don't know that this breastwork is all that important now, but I guess I'll let that unit finish it up, and then we'll see. These guys, because let's see, how far does this fence run? Fences are a real pain for cavalry and for artillery. I don't know what to do with these guys. This is a artillery dragging simulator now, but whatever. It's fine. Oh, but we got, that was the big battery too. So yeah, I'm glad that those guys got chopped down. It's probably just going to be the detachment after that, but that's okay. That if they actually do have guns, it's like the detachment version of guns. They don't have very much, and this was not the plan. The plan was not to get them to come out and frontally attack. I mean, if they would, that'd be fine. But we still have quite a bit of ammo. I think all of our canister, because we haven't had to use it up until this point. And we got tons of artillery on high ground with cover. Kind of exactly what we want. Alright, you guys have had just great trouble moving, so whatever. Probably should not move them there. That was a bit too aggressive from the start, and I knew it. But I just wanted them to get close. Alright, you guys gotta snake all the way around here. I think their skirmishers are back from routing, so we'll push them up. And you can see that they have done themselves a lot of damage by coming out now. It has been a comedy of errors on the part of the AI here, because though they had a good defensive position, they didn't really need to defend. They needed to attack earlier. They waited too long, got their artillery shot down, didn't deploy their artillery correctly, and then had to attack when it was kind of too late to attack. But I mean, it was a decent move because most of my infantry was scattered off to the flanks with the artillery in the middle. But it was always going to be I think it was always going to be a tough position for them to take, given the numbers and everything. So, yeah, it's one of those what ifs. And again, nothing I'm saying is like particularly brilliant. It's pretty. I think it's pretty obvious to even people who have never played the game. Like, that's, if you're going to be outnumbered long term, you either got to get off the map, or you got to try to take the attack to them early on, and then you can castle up. Like, if they just pushed out, unleashed their artillery, pushed out with their infantry, and broke a bunch of my units, then they can kind of pull back to those defenses. And if they had their artillery concentrate on counterbat before I got my breastworks up, they probably could have knocked out several battalions, and then continued even after I got breastworks up, and probably run pretty close. I'm not saying that they necessarily would have won, though they could have, because of their superior cover, good placement, and all that, and that they would have gotten the first shots in. But it would have made it a lot harder for me to be guaranteed to sit around and be able to just siege them and shoot them down. And that would have then given me the kind of terrible option of having to then attack this. And if I did, obviously going across would not be the best way. I think coming up along this road, and then maybe coming through this field. There's this hill here. There's also a road if you wanted speed, but you come through that over that hill. I could use those fences. I could also use these woods to skirmish on this fight. I could have attacked if I had to, but why do it if you don't have to? So it never got that bad, but I don't know. It's all right. And now they've wisened up, and now they're running back to their trenches. So there's that. But, all right, we'll have you guys swing around. Okay, you're done. I'm actually pretty happy with how the artillery defended itself, so I think we're just going to move them over there. This math isn't quite working, or oh, I guess that's their skirmishers. All right, I got it. Math works. Not exactly sure what's going on there, but okay. All right. So that's a 14 gun battery. That's a target I want to get at. The Maynard carbine. All right. Move him up there. Slide him a bit that way. Okay. We'll get new skirmishers here. We'll send them in. You're slow constructors. Maybe this is their first set of breastworks. I don't know. Alright, so they still have a big chunk, right? 2,500, 2,600 men there. About 2,600 men there. Yeah, it's a big chunk of their force. So I don't know exactly what the plan is. I think they're going to lose those guys. I still haven't got, I believe it's McClellan who's supposed to show up. Still a no-show. And it's 3 in the afternoon, mid-November. So, alright, so we broke them off. I don't think they're going to run the way I want them to. The enemy never does. Alright. I'll try to have them charge. I don't know if they're going to make it. They're well rested. I feel like they should be able to get a fair amount of that way. Alright, those skirmishers are pulling back. And I don't know, if they're going to rush like heavy amounts of infantry over here, I'm not going to pursue that, but I'll see if they decide to do anything. Looks like there's some movement over here as well, so we'll move some skirmishers. Graves's brigade. It's probably one of the last significant pockets. Okay, we'll move them up. They're shooting them already from across this body of water here. Their range is just pretty terrible, so may have to move a little bit. Alright, we're getting very close to the point where the enemy army routes. Oh no, why did you do that? Well, if that's what you're gonna do, then please do that. Okay, they're moving, and we'll have these guys move as well. Alright, these guys are all finished up. I still wondered if with cavalry, if the fatigue is the horses or the men. Alright, they're retreating, so we can just go ahead and wrap this video. Sure, go ahead and charge. I don't care. But I feel like it's the horses who are doing most. I mean, yeah, you're gonna get tired too, but I wonder if when you take the men off the horses, whether they'd be a bit fresher than maybe their worn out, haggard steeds and all that, but maybe not. Maybe it makes sense and is fine the way it is. Okay. You're over there. And yeah, we'll skirmish up with them. Are we not shooting? Uh-oh. Yeah, it's not what I meant to do. Oops. Oh, I've said that before. Alright. Pull back. Pull back. I don't know what you're doing. I guess somehow I kicked out skirmishers. I wasn't trying to do that, but alright. Who we got here? No one of consequence. Alright. Okay, sure. Yeah, guys, just go ahead and get out of there. It's perfect. You too. Yeah, we don't want to be shot up by 3,000 infantry who are about to shoot us up. Like we really got to get out of there. Who are you? So you are 2nd Cav. I don't know what that is. Alright. Well, just about done. This is Greaves' detachment. Okay. They lost 2,100. We lost 260. So it's 10-1. For those of you who are impressed with pretty unimpressive math skills. And see, the Battle of Covington, Lexington. Let me think about what was this. Oh, right. So this was the Army of the Tennessee. And they were hanging out kind of east of Covington. And the larger force, which was the Missouri State Guard, they're camped to the south. 26 guns and 1,000. Yeah, so that's what I mean. I did not think that McClellan would make it from there, but apparently he did. Again, the number of guns it states I have and the number of guns I got like 50%. That plus 50%. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Yeah, and then this is the Missouri State Guard, which just got beat in a battle by yours truly here. So what I think I'm going to do with these guys, because McClellan's going to march all the way around and come over here, but he's going to be out of supply if he does that. Harney's already pretty close, but I think I can march him close to this supply depot and capture it. If not, I'll just pull him back to Covington, wait for McClellan, and then they can both push the Missouri State Guard. So that's what I'm thinking are the next moves here. I don't know of anything. What I've been thinking is getting like a 10,000 man army, maybe out of Springfield, and just have them ride through and capture St. Joseph's up here in Missouri. If there's any other cities or anything like that, we'll go for them. Then push down into Arkansas and just gradually try to push them back over here, or make them spread out their resources and push over here, because you can see we've pulled ahead in the men fielded category. All right, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I did, and hope to have you back for the next one.